You might even get a chance to work alongside us as we perform our daily duties in the school system. I also have a few that are here, and if they'd like to stand, I would ask that they stand at this time. Stand if you're non-instructional support staff. The employees are encouraged to hopefully receive, they're hopefully going to receive part of the retro prior to spring break. I know that they're diligently working in the finance office, but all of the employees are asking if there's any way possible to please get some money to them so that they can enjoy their spring break. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Great job, Ms.
Yes.
Gold.
Thank you.
We have a motion and second on the floor. Do I have any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you for all you do.
Thank y'all.
We'll move on to action item 5D, please.
Madam Chair, I recommend the board the bid for construction of Wildlife Elementary School pre-K 5 grade project for Thomas May Construction in the amount of $22,923,000.
Do you have a motion? Questions or comments from the board? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Looks like we're building a school.
Looking forward to the regular reports.
Thank you. Mr. Burnett, we appreciate your patience with all the questions that we called you.
Good to see you.
Okay, we'll move to our discussion items. So it is that time of year. Again, I received a letter from the Florida School Boards Association and an invoice for an annual membership. So the annual membership this year would cost $13,123. So I wanted to bring it for discussion, and if it pleases the board, I'm happy to ask the superintendent to recommend, but if the board isn't interested, then we'll just let it go. Questions or comments?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Services are still available for us if we need training, et cetera, pay as we go.
Correct.
So we still have opportunities to utilize services for school board training or other things.
Correct. Correct. We can attend any of the trainings or the conferences at a cost. Any other questions or comments? Are you interested in having this come before us to vote on, or would you like it to just drop?
Yeah,
Dr. Baldwin drop? Mr. Dionis?
that's correct.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
Dr. Burns? And I'm not interested in spending $13,000 on that either, so. We will,
I don't think it's been a year since we've done that.
well, here's what happened last year. They sent it to me, and then about 6 months into the year, they sent me a past due notice.
Oh,
So I, of course, brought that to the board. So you have heard about this more than once in a year. If there's nothing else on this item, we can move to our staff reports. Do we have anything on Wildlife Elementary this evening, Dr. Turvey?
No, ma'am, we have a contractor now, and we're moving forward.
Board members, any questions? We have a written technology update, and Mr. Wilson, I understand, is very ill, so he isn't here, but I'm sure Dr. Turvey can answer any questions. Ms. Burns, Dr. Burns, excuse me.
Dr. Kirby, I just have a question on item number 1, because I know there were some issues with preparing the Chromebooks for the testing. Is this the same issues addressed here? It says with the Google operating system compatibility?
Yes,
Okay.
they have corrected that within our district. And all of the Chromebooks have been taken back to 42 and 46, so now they're ready to administer the Florida Standards Assessment.
Any other questions or comments on the technology update? Dr. Baldwin?
In relation to the FSA writing testing that's going to be going on, that they're using the Chromebooks for, have there been some grades where now they're going back to being able to handwrite it, or are we still where they're having to all type it on the Chromebook?
Most of them are all computer-based, but the elementary school is still.
Okay, 12 will be on the timetable. And that starts next week, the writing testing.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm not aware of any old business, board. We've already taken care of our public presentations unless there's any additional, Rob. Dr. Turvey, superintendent comments?
I have one item for you this evening, Madam Chairman. As you know, that we are approaching rapidly and been preparing for our 5-year external review with the advanced data accreditation. And just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Should be enough copies in there. In between, there's a sheet of paper copiers. Backing up a little bit. And what this document shows you was the schedule that the schools and the district has gone through from the start of the 2015 and 2016 school year and what they walked through. And I'll just go over that real briefly with you and then have an item to request from you.
It's just one sheet.
Just one sheet. And all these links are live if you'd like to get more information about what that process is. But in September, in conjunction with our state mandated school improvement plans, the schools and the district began working on the improvement plan. Then in October, they started to work on their executive summary, and the executive summary tells a lot of things to the visiting team about the community, the economic development taking place, different demographics in the community, and they're working through that in October, and of course they still have time to add to it. In November, they begin the self-assessment, and the self-assessment goes through, and there's a lot of different things that they consider to be best practices in the schools on a rubric. So what they do is they get with their school advisory councils and different stakeholder groups at the school and go through and rate it. Then the principals meet with me and rate the district level. So we get all the stakeholders involved in that. We do a self-assessment that provides information for that visiting team when they come in. All of this, what we're doing, is part of the internal review leading to the external review. In December, they just go through the assurances, and that's just to make sure that we're meeting all of the accreditation standards. And that's something that schools do every year, is to make sure that all the teachers are highly qualified, certified, that we have the correct amount of staff for the number of students, et cetera, things like that. And then in February, they start the student performance diagnostic, and the reason that's the last item that they take care of is because we had to wait for our FSA scores to come back. And they go through and take all of their data. Predominantly for most schools would be the FSA, and then you have those that have norm reference tests. Of course, the high schools have their SAT readiness, their ACT, their different PERT scores. They go through that, analyze it, break it down, and just comes up with a diagnostic basically of how the school is performing. All of that is housed online, and in the 2 months prior to the visit, the visiting team members go through there and analyze all that data, and then they are able to pinpoint questions because they're only here for 4 days. Another part of it that they work on that's not listed there is the parental involvement, stakeholder involvement. You may have received an email. You have children, you probably saw on Focus where it had a link directly to the survey. So we are going through that process now. We wanted to do it before testing started. And we've had good participation in all the stakeholder groups. The parents are surveyed, the children are surveyed, students, and of course the teachers. And then all that goes into diagnostic. What I need to ask of you is that for those of you who have been on the board for a while, you know that on the last day of the external review, they asked that we have a special board meeting for the team to come in and present their findings, initial findings. Of course, it has to go back and be approved by the total body, but they always like to give you a report, and that date would be Wednesday, May 4th. I know your calendars are quite packed. I believe there's
What time?
commencement the next night for the college, but I would say anytime like around 3 to 3:30. It's never usually a long meeting. It seems like about 35 to 45 minutes.
So
Wednesday, May 4th.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Kirby, did you say a time?
3:30 would be a good time if you're available.
Fourth, 3:30 on May 4th, here in the board.
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
And also, I will get with you as soon as possible on when they will be able to meet. For those of you who have done it in the past, they like to meet with board members and ask questions, different formats. So as soon as I get that schedule, I'll get it out to you so you can work it into your busy schedule. We appreciate your help with that. That is all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to board comments. Mr. Deamish, you want to start?
No comments tonight, Madam Chairman, thank you very much.
Ms. Cook?
I just wanted to congratulate everyone in the fact that the school breaks came out and they were as good as we expected. And it took everybody. And so everybody needs to pat themselves on the back because we did well. I attended the parent orientation at Fernie Beach High School on Monday night, and it was with a friend of mine, so it was very informative for somebody that's been out of the high school with kids for a while. So, and there was I don't know if there was information for the parents there. I don't know if it was what you're putting together or one that they had put together, but there was a lot of information in there. And for a parent of a rising ninth grader, that this is their first one, it was packed full of information and probably a little bit intimidating, but the guidance counselor said, okay, you have very few selections available to you as a freshman, so don't get overwhelmed by it. So it was I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Dr. Burns?
Just a couple of things. I just want to recognize and thank the Amelia Highland Book Festival for being in our schools last week and distributing books to our students in all of our schools. And also the First Foundation is attempting to get started here in Nassau County, and they provide books for children from the time they're born until they're 5 years old, starting school every month, if they acquire the funding for that. So that's a good program, and I know that several people attended that meeting. But are we sharing that information throughout the school district and the school people? Are we getting that out to everybody?
Yes, ma'am, and I think that they were looking at the amount of money that was raised and
Yes.
and Michelle Maddox was helping facilitate that. So yes, ma'am, as soon as we get that information, we will be sharing it.
All right, thank you. Also, Mr. Lamont, I want to thank you for the information on all the awards that we're receiving in our program, and you could probably share a little bit more of this better than I can. We have award-winning students throughout the county in several different areas.
We had, this year, I think we had our best year ever as far as FBLA district winners, and they'll be going on to state in about 2 weeks, and that's in Orlando. And one of the things that was in the press release, this is the first year that Fernie Beach High School had a chapter as well, so now all 4 high schools are competing.
Thank you for all that.
Dr. Culver?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Grooms and her team for putting together an amazing college
Yes.
and career
Excellent.
fair night at the Bean Center. This is the third year that we've done it, and it was a packed house, wall to wall. A lot of great colleges that were brought to Nassau County, so parents don't have to travel to go get information from Auburn and UCF and all these wonderful schools. So thank you for that, because that is changing kids' lives. And for the principals who made sure we had transportation for our students coming from the schools, that was impressive to see. The avid students, some of the middle school students, because that's where it really puts their eye on the prize, is earlier the better, so thank you for that. And then you heard earlier that Riceville's doing their STEM night tonight, and that's encouraging to see that continued science focus. West Nassau's robotics team is going and presenting there to put an eye for them on engineering and such. And then my final comment would be I had mentioned this a few board meetings ago, but if you get a chance to email your legislative representatives about the coding bill to allow computer science classes to be utilized as a foreign language requirement, because that would go a long way to prepare our students, give them another option, and help them close the digital skills gap in the workforce. So if you have a moment, email your representative and senator to, in support of that bill, because it really helps our students. All of that.
Okay, and as always, everything I have written down, they've already covered, but congratulations again to a successful college and career night. And thank you for also focusing on not all college, but some career as well, to give our students that choice. So it was very much appreciated. I know that took a whole team to put that together. And we're almost running out of space.
I know, I keep thinking, well, we might have to go outside and around the corner or upstairs, but it was 89.
That's what I thought.
89.
This year.
Excellent.
And again, the Amelia Island Book Festival for bringing authors into our schools and making sure that every family comes home with a book. It's a fantastic program, and I want to shout out to Ms. Simpkins back there, who did a fine job. We attended the opening luncheon for the Amelia Island Book Festival, and she represented the school district and brought greetings, and she did a great job, so thank you. Mr. Hackett?
No comments, Madam Chair.
This meeting is adjourned.